Now in this section, we're going to get a little more detailed into the molecular structure of the muscle and talk about the actual contractive part, which is called the sarcomere. So because of the way that the thick and thin filaments are organized, they are organized into these units called a sarcomere. It includes some thin filaments, thick filaments, thick filaments, and thin filaments. When the muscle contracts, the little myosin heads on the thick filaments bind to and walk along the thin filaments, which draws this part called the Z disc toward the middle and shortens the whole sarcomere. And then, since all of the sarcomeres in a muscle shorten, the insertion is drawn toward the origin of the muscle as the whole muscle shortens. The sarcomeres are the things that create the striations in the muscle, and they extend from what we call one Z disc to the next. Okay. The other parts of the sarcomere are also named. The main divisions are the light band and the dark band, the I band and A band, and the I band is primarily thin filaments, and the A band is mostly the thick filaments. I remember I band is light. Light has an I. A bands are dark. Dark has an A. The names actually come from Latin terms that are hard to remember, so that's how I remember it. Now, in the center of the sarcomere is the M line, which is where the two groups of myosin filaments are joined together. There's a lighter band around that where it's just the thick filaments. That's the H zone. And then we have the A band around the H zone, the I band, and then in the middle of each I band we have a Z disc. Okay, so those are all the parts of the sarcomere, and you do need to know those. And I think it would be good practice if you actually practiced drawing a sarcomere and labeling the sarcomere. It's really going to help your attention to detail. So I always start with the Z discs on both ends, and then draw thin filaments this way, and then draw the M line in the middle, thick filaments this way, draw their little myosin heads. Make sure that they're overlapping but not completely. I usually don't draw in these other proteins called connectins that are helping to keep the thick and thin filaments straight and organized. But if you want to draw those in, you can. All right, so here's a sarcomere. So let's practice our labeling. This is a Z disc. This is a Z disc. This is the I band. This is the A band here. This area is the H zone, and then this part is the M line in the middle. And that's your sarcomere. As the muscle contracts, the striations change size because the overlap between the myosin and the actin fibers becomes more. And so we actually end up with an M line in the middle of a big A band, and the H zone actually goes away. All right, so we're going to stop there. We'll come back and learn even more detail and exactly how the muscles themselves contract.